If you're a first-time cigar buyer, here's 5 things you should know. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Jackleg Act. My name is Mushki, and I'm your master jackleg. For anyone new out there, hit that subscribe button, join the Jackleg family, and channel your inner jackleg. Like the top of the video said, here's 5 things a first-time cigar buyer should know. First off, what kind of taste are you looking for? Cigars generally have light-bodied, medium-bodied, full-bodied. And that's going to be lighter flavors, medium flavors, like fuller flavors. The most recommended thing for a new cigar smoker is to start light. You don't want to get burnt out with the stronger, fuller flavors of a cigar. I personally would recommend buying a light one and buying one somewhere in the medium because everyone's palate is different and you might hate a light cigar but love a more full one, and you wouldn't know that if you don't try it. But like I said, most people will prefer and enjoy more a light cigar as their first one than not. So looking at a cigar, you see this outer leaf here is the wrapper, and what you're going to want to look for is a lighter wrapper. That's not always the case, but it's still kind of a general rule of thumb. The lighter the wrapper, the lighter the body. You'd be probably better off to ask the shop owner, and they should be able to point you in the right direction. So number 2 is going to be the price. How much do you want to pay per cigar? Cigars can go from $4 a stick all the way up to $20, $30, even more. I personally would recommend you to stick between like the $5 to maybe like $8 range. You're going to get a lot of great cigars in that price range. They're all going to be long filler cigars, which is what you're looking for in a premium cigar. But there's going to be room to grow from there. There's going to be, once you get into that and you start finding the flavors you like and the profiles and the bodies, well, then you can start going up to the 10, 12, 13, 14, bring it up from there, and you'll appreciate the finer nuances in those more expensive cigars. The price is also going to depend on the size of the cigar, which is actually point number 3, the size. So not only is the size going to affect the price, but it's also going to affect the time it takes to smoke. So you must ask yourself, well, how long do I want to be smoking a cigar? Cigars come in about 5 bajillion different sizes. Every brand and company can call their cigars their own name for a size. There's probably about 10 commonly referred to names. You can look them up. I'm just going to give you 3. A Robusto, which is a smaller end, a Toro, the middle, and then a Churchill, which is the 7+ inch long one, This right here is a Toro, so it's like the medium-sized one. The Robusto can do 45 minutes to an hour, and the Churchill can go an hour and a half to 2 hours. So how long do you want to spend on a cigar? The price is going to vary slightly. That's not going to be too much of a factor, but more of you don't want to waste half of a cigar because you bought the Churchill thinking it would look cool. Point number 4 is, so you got the size that you want and the price that you want and in the flavor that you want, so now you're going to pay. Well, this next tip is going to be something that seems obvious, but it can be easily overlooked, is get yourself some matches. You don't want to use just your standard Bic lighter. Grab some matches. They're going to be free, they're going to have them, and that'll be the smarter thing. And on that same side of it is, if you don't own a cigar cutter, have them cut it for you. The top of a cigar, the cap, it's a sealed piece of tobacco leaf that you need to cut, puncture, slice before you can smoke it. There's probably a dozen plus MacGyver ways to get one of these opened at home, but you're in the shop, you just paid good money for it. Have the tobacconist cut it for you. They're going to know what they're doing, they're not going to cut too much, and if something was to happen where it breaks or tears, they'll replace it for you on spot, and it won't be something you have to worry about later. Finally, number 5 of the things that you should know is your expectations. Just like everything in life, you need to make sure you have reasonable expectations. Don't go in there thinking that they're going to have the biggest selection ever. Don't go in thinking you're going to find the cheapest cigars ever. Don't go in thinking you're going to get the best service ever, okay? The first cigar that you smoke, don't think it's going to be your most favorite cigar ever. I'm sure there's soda or food, or I bet you've even watched a movie you didn't like, and that doesn't make you stop watching movies. You just go watch a different one. Same thing with cigars, same thing with the shop. Set reasonable expectations. I'll give you a quick example before we close this out. My first time buying a cigar at a shop. I went to a shop that was on my way to and from work, and I walk in, and another thing, be honest with the people there. Don't try to pretend like you know something, because you're not going to get any benefit from it, and they're going to probably know as soon as you say like 3 words. So just be honest. So I went up to the guy and I said, hi, I'm trying to get into cigars. I know pretty much nothing about it. Maybe you can help me, pick out my first cigar. And he kind of looks at me, yeah. And he walks me over to the humidor, and we walk in, and he goes over to a big box, presentation box that has a bunch of cigars, kind of like this. No wrapper, no label on it or anything. He's like, this one. And that was it, just this one. So, okay. And like I said, I kind of watched some reviews and stuff, so I was kind of trying to make small talk with him. I'm like, well, do you know where the tobacco is from? He's like, no. And I was like, oh, well, do you know anything else about the cigar? He's like, no. So I said, thank you, I appreciate your time. I'm just going to keep looking around. And after he left, I pretty much, Russian roulette the cigar shop, and I was like, okay, I'm going to have that one there, this one here, and this one here. Which adds me to a point, cigars only last for a couple days, so only buy as many as you plan to smoke in, like, let's say the next 3 days. Obviously, that wasn't the best service that I could have received. It wasn't the most friendly, the most pleasant, the most knowledgeable, but I didn't let that affect my experience of it. And the next shop that I went into was the exact opposite. So don't let a negative thing impact your whole experience on it. Just set reasonable expectations, and if someone exceeds that, that's all the better. Anyways, guys, I hope this will help you in your first time buying cigars. Give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, become a fellow jackleg, and leave me a comment and let me know how your first buying experience went. Until next time, guys, Mushki out.